what an interesting market Angel Fire saw in 2024.
We have seen and realized the maximum gains in the shortest period of time.
Holy cow!
Why are people not transacting?
And they're just more willing to walk away from that home.
If you're considering selling, I encourage you to look into it now. Hello and welcome to our annual real estate market update for Angel Fire New Mexico. I'm Tara.
And I'm Kate, and we've got a lot of exciting data to dig into today.
We do. When we do our annual deep dive, we look at sold homes year over year for the past 5 years, break them down by price, and then we compare that to the active homes on the market at the beginning of each year to show us any trends of what direction the market is headed, because our goal is for every buyer and seller to make informed decisions.
That's right. And what an interesting market Angel Fire saw in 2024. So let's kick off with units sold. It was slow. Units sold were down 22%, 24 over 23. That's a big change. But the median home price was up by 6%. This is a trend we've actually seen over the last 5 years, decreasing units sold, but increasing median price.
Right. And that number of home sales has been declining since COVID, which is expected. The market needed to normalize. Nationally, home sales were down as well. So Angel Fire is in line with the rest of the country in this data point, but why are people not transacting?
There's a lot of factors, so let's hit on each one.
Okay, first one is inventory.
If there's not homes to buy, buyers aren't going to buy.
Right. And then number two is overpricing.
If that already limited inventory is overpriced, buyers aren't going to engage.
Yeah. And we saw significantly lower list price to sale price ratios in 2024, which is the indicator that many sellers were coming on the market too high for what the market can bear.
That's right.
So moving on, the next point that's driving down the units sold last year was interest rates and values.
Yeah, both were at a peak in 2024, and the combination of high interest rates and high values makes homes just less affordable.
Right.
In our market, that doesn't mean that a buyer can't afford the home, but it may very well mean that they don't want to.
Exactly. And that leads us right into this increase in discerning buyer behavior.
As we move away from the COVID crazy sellers market, buyers are pushing back more on price. They're negotiating harder on price and other terms.
Yep.
And they're just more willing to walk away from that home and wait for another one.
Yeah. And then some buyers didn't even enter the market because it was an election year.
Oh, we've said it so many times, but it's still worth reconsidering. Buyers and sellers tend to put home decisions on hold during an election year. The good news is that we've already seen an increase in consumer confidence and activity just in these first few weeks of January.
Right. And we're going to touch on that more later. But the last point here is new construction.
Right. The increased buyer demand for new construction means that those buyers are buying outside the MLS essentially. And so the transactions are happening, but they're not showing up in the data.
Exactly. So in summary, there's broader economic factors that are causing this reduction in units, such as high mortgage rates, high values, and the uncertainty of the election year. Mm-hmm. But then there's also local points like low inventory and seller pricing strategies.
Yes. And all of this reiterates what we've seen for a couple of years now. The housing market was at or near the peak for a few years, and now we're moving towards a balanced market.
And the market's always shifting. It's a pendulum with the buyer's market on one side, a seller's market on the other side. And moving towards this balanced market is fine, is good, because the middle is the healthiest place a market can be.
So let's touch on how all of this affects values here and now. Like I said, the median price is up 6%, 24 over 23, to $557,000 in Angel Fire. You remember pre-COVID, Tara?
Nope.
$359,000.
It's a race from my memory.
Of us. Median sales price pre-COVID was $359,000
Wow.
Angel Fire. Okay, so does a 6% increase in median home price mean everybody's values went up 6%?
Unfortunately, no, it doesn't. We do 100 plus valuations on homes per year between the two of us, and we have this unique insight that shows us that values have been stable. Yeah. Last year. There were micro segments of the market that saw some incline and micro segments that saw some declines in values, but overall, stable values was the theme for 2024.
Okay, so that median price increase wasn't due to value increases, but there were two things that created this. One is that the under 500,000 price point in Angel Fire is disappearing, and the other is that we saw a tiny increase in the over 1.5 million sales. And since we're such a small market, a tiny increase in those luxury price points can make a big shift in our averages.
Yeah, huge. So Looking forward at 2025, those steady values that we saw last year are expected to continue both nationally and locally. Let's look at some of this data here nationally. The 2025 home price forecast by these 21 different economists predict anywhere from a value decrease this year of 2% to an increase of 5.5%. And the average of these forecasts is 2.9% value increase expected in 2025 nationally.
And slightly more buyers and sellers are expected to enter the market this year, continuing that strong balanced market. These national numbers show the same decline from 21 through 24 that we've seen locally, and we expect this projected increase in 2025 to reflect locally as well.
Yep. And this is partly due to the decline in rates that's expected this year. It's not as much as we all want, but out of 9 financial institutions surveyed, the mortgage rates are expected to come down to 6.3% in 2025.
So Tara, bonus question. If you could give buyers one piece of advice for 2025, what is it?
Be patient and diligent. That's a tough combination, but with constricted inventory, you have no choice but to be patient, all while knowing that when the right home comes on the market, it's going to move fast.
So know what you want, know how much you're willing to pay for it so that you can be ready to transact quickly when the right house comes on the market. And how about sellers? What's one piece of advice for sellers in 2025?
To be quite frank, I'm telling all of my friends and family, if you're planning on selling in the near future, do it in 2025. We have seen and realized the maximum gains in the shortest period of time by holding through the COVID market. And now values are continuing to hold steady, amazingly, at or near the peak. So knowing that every cycle has periods of decline, if you're considering selling, I encourage you to look into it now.
That's great advice. We're going to keep an eye on all of these trends locally and nationally throughout the year, and we'll keep you up to date. Meanwhile, if you want to dig into the data on your own, we've got it all out for you on chisholmgroup.com. And if you want to brainstorm your unique situation, give us a call.
We're on a mission to help everybody make informed decisions. So please like, comment, and share this video with anybody who might find it valuable.
See you next time.